Welcome back to Diving into Watches, and today we got a great review for you. We got a great review by a company called Glycine, formed in 1914 by Eugene Maline. I think that's how you pronounce it, Maline, and established a very quick following by British and American jet setters for their different watches. And over time, the company expanded and grew. And when it became where it really took off in popularity was in 1950. Was where it took off in popularity was in 1953 with the Glycine Airman watch. And that's when this popularity started to really grow. It started to really, and where it really kicked off the fame of Glycine and the popularity was in 1965 during the Gemini 5 mission, where Pete Conrad and Gordo Cooper circled the Earth 7 times. Not 7 times, spent 7 days, and at that time it set a record for most time in space. When they were landed and picked up, I should have a photo of it. They watched the airman pilot watch was on Pete Conrad's flight suit on his wrist. So that really started the excitement and the popularity of Glycine. Pete Conrad was considered an aficionado of the airman pilot, or sorry, an aficionado of the airman pilot watch, and that really what started the popularity of the watch. In 1965, they also changed their logo to the one you now see on the watches, the crown symbol that you see in all the watches. And in 1967, Glycine realized that they needed to put out a watch for what they called the people of the land, aka the military, the soldiers that were on the ground. Obviously, you had Vietnam going on at that time, reaching it into its peak of involvement. And so they came out with the Glycine Combat Sub. And the one that we're going to be reviewing today is the GL083, which is probably one of my opinion, there's another one, the GL097. Yes, the GL097 are the two that have probably the most resemblance to the original combat sub that was created by Glycine in 1967. And this has become a very hugely popular watch among military people and sports people. And that was what originally, for when you're on the website, it said it was created for the military and the sports environment. I think more so for the military, obviously, because it says combat on it. But the 083 and the 097 are the two that have the most authentic look and feel of the original combat sub. In the combat sub line, Glycine has over 180 different variations of the combat sub. So I'm sure that what I'm saying by these two being the best, there's going to be other combat sub people out there going to watch this video and disagree with me. And that's fine. I mean, this is just my opinion. I like this particular style because it's most original to the original combat sub. And they have a lot of great combat subs, but these two, just because of the style, the patina, I shouldn't say the patina, but the superluminova that they use, the orange patina, it just, I don't know, it kind of has that orange patina feel to it. It's actually a really incredible watch. I've been wearing it all week and getting a really good feel for it. So without further ado, let's get over on the bench and let's take a look at the specs, go into a little bit about the watch. We'll put it on the time grapher, see how it's keeping time, because it is a Swiss watch with a Swiss movement. And the big concern was in 2016, correct me if it was 2016, Invicta bought Glycine. And the big concern in the world was that Invicta, which is known for some okay watches, that I actually have an Invicta watch that I really like, the Grand Diver, but they're known for their over-the-top, gaudy, monstrosity of watches. And the concern was that they were going to ruin Glycine. But I guess the agreement or the understanding was that in the purchasing Glycine, Invicta was going to keep a hands-off approach to Glycine still to allow them to develop their watches, manufacture their watches. So it's a Swiss movement, a Swiss watch, but Invicta was going to help them with marketing and distribution. So it seems to have been a good partner. Invicta hasn't influenced the design from what you know of Invictas to the Glycine, which is good. So this is a watch that you can get that is Swiss built, Swiss movement, but not a Swiss price, well under $400. And it's a fully automatic watch that is just absolutely fantastic. But without giving away all the dimensions or anything, let's get over to the bench and take a look. And let's get into the nitty-gritty details of I almost said Invicta, of the Glycine Combat Sub GL083. Let's do this. Okay, here is the close-up of the Glycine. We're going to go over the dimensions first. So the dimensions of this one is, the case is 42 millimeters, which is probably the perfect size that I really like. I like that 40, between 40 and 45, but that 42 is what I really like. So it's 42 millimeters, the case width. The lug is 22 millimeters. The lug to lug is 50.33 millimeters, and the case thickness is 10.66 millimeters. So it is a really nice, thin, compact watch that fits very, very well on the wrist, very comfortably. And I like the thinness of this watch, even with the day date and the automatic movement. It's a very thin watch. It's very, very comfortable. It is a ceramic bezel insert. It is a flat sapphire glass with anti-reflective coating underneath. Very, very nice. The crown has substantial crown guards to really protect the crown from getting whacked. It is a nice knurling on the crown, and it's very easy to grasp. And it has the Glycine logo on the side, as in you also have the Glycine logo right in the middle where it says Glycine. The bottom it says, let me zoom in just a little bit here. At the bottom it says Combat Automatic Sub 200 atmosphere, so 200 meters of water resistance. The indices are painted on. The name is painted on. The date is in a blacked out background with a white trimmer on the window. And then between the indices, you have the minute markers, and then you also have the 24-hour markers for 24-hour time, because you can definitely tell that it was definitely built for military, because you have the 24-hour clock, all numbers inside also. So you can see it's right now it's 1748. Yeah, 1748. So it's very nice. The basic sword hands are excellent. I find them very easy to read, very legible. It doesn't detract or take away from the face at all. The the second hands has a loomed square triangle, I guess triangle, not a square, triangle on the end. And the loom is orange, so it kind of gives it that nice patina look, but not like, overly like fake patina watches that you see now. They seem to become more popular today. We're seeing more and more people wearing fake. There's too much fake patina applied, and it's not real. I don't like that at all. I will do a loom shot here in a second so you can see how the loom is. It's on a black dial. I currently have it on a airborne, kind of based off a French NATO or French airborne strap by M&N. They make excellent straps. I really like it on the strap. It is extremely comfortable on the strap, and I will give you some pictures of me wearing it. On the back, it is a full solid cased screw down crown. Obviously, it's got the name Glycine. It gives you the movement number, steel, which is 3A16 stainless steel. And then it also tells you sapphire glass. And then right over here, it's going to give you the serial number of the watch. It's just a gorgeous watch. I've been extremely happy with this one for a long time. I just kind of poo-pooed Glycines. I think it's my own bias because of the Invicta owning them. And I thought maybe that was going to get screwed up, but I kept looking at them, I saw a review, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to pull the trigger. And when I went and looked, I think what convinced me was when I was watching one of the reviews is that, it's a Swiss watch with a Swiss movement. It's the GL083 movement. I think it's also, some people say it's an ETA movement, but this is Glycine's movement in it, GL083 Swiss movement. I don't have the back off, but I did see pictures of the movement, and it's a gorgeous movement. A display case backpack would have been really nice. It's 26 joules, which is very nice. It does say Swiss made down the bottom, so you are getting that part of it. Now, people will argue about Swiss made, because Swiss made means only I think it's 60% of the watch has to be assembled in Switzerland. The other 40% doesn't. That's neither here nor there for me. I'm just digging. This is probably, of all the watches I own, I think this is my first true Swiss movement, Swiss made watch. I might have to stand correct on myself, but I'm not quite sure. The other strap I keep it on, and it's very comfortable, and I like it, is the NDC French Airborne Combat Strap. These straps are actually made from the original material for French Airborne parachutes. I think it's new old stock, and then when you get it, you have to cut it to fit. And it's just a one-piece pull-around band that is extremely comfortable, and I actually love this thing. The only thing I need to do is when I melted it, these frays are a little bit scratchy. So I took it off and I have it on this one because I hadn't found any other watch that I felt like I really wanted to wear it on this one. But this one is working really, really well with the colors and everything on it. Let me go ahead and get a lume shot before I give you some wrist shots, see what it looks like. Okay, there is the lume shot of the Swiss Super Luminova on it. You can see that it glows very well in the dark. It's very legible. You've got the 12 o'clock pip that's lit up. Then you've got the hands and the seconds hand, and each indice has its pip. It lasts a long time. When I put it on the counter in the bathroom at night and I go in there at 3 o'clock in the morning, obviously it's not this bright, but there is still glow. So you will get glow throughout the night, but just not this bright. It will fade over time, but it does not go completely out. So that's very, very nice. Very impressed with the overall quality and build of this watch. Let me get a little closer to that Super Luminova, Swiss Super Luminova. Very nice. So now I will go ahead and pop it on the wrist so you can get a shot to see what it looks like on the wrist. I like the way these lugs curl down here. It just makes it sit really nice on the wrist. But before we do that, quick watch check. I have on my Alpina 300 GMT. This is a quartz watch, one of a few quartz watches that I own. Alpina makes some really outstanding watches. This is on the list to eventually get reviewed. And it comes on its own blue tropic strap and the gunmetal case. Been very happy with this watch, and I've traveled quite a bit with this one, but a review will come. Well, let's go ahead and get this off, and let's pop on the Glycine Combat Sub. Okay, there it is on my 6 1/4 inch wrist. Let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit. You can see that it looks very good. It sits very compact, very low on the wrist. It's not overhanging my wrist at all, and I have a very small wrist. The watch strap holds it very nicely too, so if you're really interested, check out M&M. They are not a sponsor. I have no affiliation with them at all, but they do make really good straps. It looks really good on the wrist. It's very comfortable, very light, and it's not top heavy or protruding at all. Very, very comfortable. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with this one. I do have some moans, and I'll cover those in a second, but let me go ahead and get this off, and we'll go over probably the one thing I don't like about the watch, which is good because it's only one thing. Okay, one of the things I missed, and it's good that I missed it because it is my groan, is the bezel is a 120 click bezel, and it's very firm. It's a little tight, but I'd rather have tighter than loose. The QC is great. It locks right back into tight, but the biggest problem I have is the coin edge bezel is not very grippy, and it's a very, very thin bezel. So it's kind of difficult to get your fingers. There's not a lot of grip area on the watch to grip the watch. So when it's on your wrist and you're trying to grab it, it's very hard to do with just 2 fingers. You really got to get your hands on there and the whole hand on there and grab it and move it. So if I had a complaint, it can be kind of a pain in the butt, but it's not that bad. It's still a great watch. Let me line it back up at the top here. Oh, got fingerprints all over. Let's get those off. But that would be my only moan. My gripe about it is the bezel's just a little thin and a little challenged to grab. But how much do you turn the bezel? Some of me play with it a lot. I do use mine as a timer quite a bit for different stuff. So I do use it. With that function, I'll live with it. Maybe because all the other parts of this watch are just absolutely outstanding. It's an incredible watch. Great value for the money. You see the little notch here, the pip at the top. That's kind of unique. I haven't seen it in other watches. Just noticed that. But it is a solid watch. I think it's well worth the money. I think I only paid 350. I think it was 350 bucks. I wanted this particular model, so I had to do some searching around. It wasn't on Amazon. It wasn't on Joma Shop, which I go to quite a bit. I got it from a company called Ashford. I don't know anything about them, but this particular model was the model I wanted, so I had to do a little hunting and searching for it. There are a lot of Glycine models on Amazon and Joma Shop, just not this one. I did not look for the 97 because I didn't even notice the 97 until I was on Glycine's website and noticed how they had over 180 different variations of this one. Greens, there's some really great ones. There's a green one that has a green bezel that's really, really cool. as I said earlier, I just like this one because of the vintage look, the vintage feel of it. So let's go back over to the studio and give you my final reviews and wrap up this video on the Glycine Combat Sub GL083. Well, there you go, folks. There is the review of the Glycine Combat Sub GL083. I am late to the game with Glycine, and I think that's just because my bias with Invicta, and I kind of just figured it was going to be messed up. Don't know. I just, I never really gave him a shot, never get it. But I'd rather be late to the party than not gone to the party at all. This turned out to be a really fantastic watch. This will probably be in my top new 5 on my rotation. One of my other ones will drop out now because I'm just really, really enjoying this one, just because that authentic look, that feel of what it was like in 1967 when this came out, and the horology and heritage of this watch is just fantastic. I don't think you can go wrong, as I said earlier. Swiss movement, Swiss built, but you're not paying a Swiss price. Well under $400. I think it's worth every single dime for this automatic watch. Again, the only moan I had was the bezel. It's just a bit hard to grab because it's so thin, but that's not a deal killer for me. It's still a fantastic watch. I think the feel, the weight, the sit on my wrist is just outstanding. Like this one's a great watch, but you can just see just the size. I mean, I know it's a GMT, so it's gonna be a little bit thicker, but the only thing that makes it thicker is just a little bit watch. So I think they can make watches thinner, and usually when they go thinner, the price goes up, but not with the Glycine Combat Sub. So if you have a Combat Sub, tell me what you got. Put it down in the comments. Tell me what you think. Do you have the 083? Do you have the 097? Do you disagree with me that these are the best two? I mean, there are 180 different variations of this watch, so I could be wrong. So with that, I want to thank everybody who's been subscribing. You're helping our channel grow. We're growing every single day, and we appreciate it very, very much. It tells us and reinforces us that you like the content we're putting out, and you want us to put more content out. We have some great, fantastic reviews coming in the future. We got a Doxa lined up, a Doxa 300 Sub T, that I've got lined up to do a review, which I don't see a lot of those on YouTube, and I'm really looking forward to do that one. So the gentleman that's going to let me borrow that one, if you're watching this video, I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me borrow that one. Coming up soon, do a full review on that one, so stay tuned for that one. As always, please hit the subscribe button. Give us a big thumbs up. That's what pushes us out. That's what helps us get all this content out to other people and get more viewers into our community, is dealing with that YouTube algorithm. So until then, everybody, you have a great weekend, safe weekend, and we'll see you next week with another great watch review from Diving Into Watches.